Welcome back to the channel. This one's going to be about beadlocks. This set of wheels and tires I picked up not too long ago, or a DIY. You can typically tell because of the 32 bolts on it. But this particular wheel had a bad valve stem on it. I took it apart a few days ago, replaced the valve stem, and I went through the sequence of tightening all these down. I don't think I did it properly. So we're going to take this back off and we're going to do it again. This time I'm going to show you how I did it. Got the wheel off. We're going to get it up on a bucket that helps sag the tire down. So by the time I do all four of these, yeah, we're gonna be hurting. All right, so one little trick that I use, and you guys might already actually know about it, is some regular painter's tape. Tear you off a few pieces. They're just gonna be markers. But you're gonna take one, mark it as your starting point. And you're gonna go directly across from that. I'll put a marker here as well, because we're going to move them. And then we're going to put one here, we're going to put one here. So when I tighten this one down, I can move this marker to here. When I go over to the other side and tighten it down, I can move that marker. Then I'm going to come over here, I'm going to tighten this one down, then I'm going to move this marker. Over here, tighten down and down, and move this marker. And then these markers will just go around, and you'll do that multiple times. It'll suck that beadlock ring down nice and even. I've already got all that done, so what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to start here. I'm going to go around 25 foot-pounds, and then we'll see how that acts, and I might have to go down to 30. We'll go around again until they all down and they hit 30 pounds, and we'll put some air back in it. One little tip I forgot to mention earlier is get this thing up off the ground. Don't just put a 5-gallon bucket on the ground and put your wheel on it. If you have the means, like a toolbox, or a toolbox might be kind of tall, but something elevated, get your wheel up there so you're not bent over, because trust me, your back will thank me. First time I ever did a set of beadlocks, I did them on the ground and I hurt for days. So, do yourself and your back a favor. Get this thing up on something. Get it elevated. Something that you're pretty close to standing up. I mean, I'm 6'3", and this Rubbermaid cart is like perfect height for me. All right, we're back around the beginning. And it's clicking right off the bat. Coffee break. And put the valve stem back in and check for leaks. Like I said earlier, I think that because I didn't do the torque sequence around and around until it all went down to 25 pounds, I got in a hurry. And I think that's the issue with the leaking that I had. So we'll put some air in this thing and see what it does. I got a bottle of soapy water over here, just dish soap and water. Put some air in this and test it out. We'll get it back on here, get the Jeep back down on it, and then I'll check it in a day or so. And all my stuff is falling apart. Well, that's not good. I'm hearing a leak. Oh shoot, where's this leak coming from? As you can see by the bubbles, I found one little small leak. I've ran this thing around, as you can see the water in the bottom. Ran it around, I got some soap all along on the inside here, and that's when that bubble formed up. So I'm gonna mark it. Chalk or something would be best, so it's not permanent. I don't think I have any chalk. Actually, I do. I have a soapstone. Yeah, because as you can see, I got a little bubble coming up here. Got bubbles coming up around there. Bubbles here. We're gonna have to pull this tire back off. And that's not what I wanted to do. But it's part of it. So what do you think? I got a slight air leak. Bubbles. We're leaking here. We're leaking here and here. So that means somewhere over in here, here, and over here. Actually, no, that just means we're leaking somewhere around this tire. So we're gonna pull the rim out and then, man, not what I wanna do, but I'm gonna have to try to unseat the bead on the back side and get this rim off so I can silicone around the weld on the inside. But I think what's happening this time is the tire itself on the surface of the rim is leaking. I wonder if I smashed it more, I'd have been fine. And I probably would have, even though I don't want to. Let's get this rim out of here. All right, so what we're going to attempt to do here is we're going to attempt to use the high lift jack to bust that bead. Bead finally broke. I had to run the high lift jack, quite a ways around this thing to get it to finally break the bead. But I should be able to get this out now to where I can work on it. I've got some tire tools to get it out of this bead. Yeah, that was rough. That was one tire. Man, I don't want to do the other four. All right, so let's look and see what we got here. I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably just try to clean this here up, and then I'm going to put a coat of silicone all the way around this bead. Like that feels like a rough spot there. We're going to clean this up. We're going to do the best I can to clean it up. That's really rough right there. We're going to put a new valve sim in. We're going to try to make these as good as new. So I went around, cleaned this surface here up, because the tire is going to sit right in here. And I might need to take that down right there a little bit. But I need a nice smooth surface for that bead to sit on. And get that little piece off, paint it, or I think I'm on silicone. I'll paint because I probably don't have paintable silicone. So I'll paint it, and then once the paint dries, then I'll come over with some silicone all around this here where the weld's at. Alright, I think I'm happy with that. What is the dry time on this stuff? About 24 hours to dry. So we'll set this off to the side and we'll come back to this tomorrow. And the silicone is set and we're going red. So I've got I've got all the bolts in. I've got 4 of them that's got the nuts on them. I'm gonna run those 4 down to try to squeeze it down, and then I'll start doing my cross pattern. But before we get doing that, we are going to try a matriarch from Metazoa Brewing Company here in Indianapolis. American Pale Ale, hop driven, flavor with a dry, crisp finish, and just enough malt to keep everything in line. 5.2% alcohol, 40 IBUs. That's good. That's really good. Is donating 5% of each 16-ounce can sale to the Indianapolis Zoo in honor of its latest exhibit, Timbo Camp. A chance to experience the majesty and power of the elephant herd up close. All Metazoa's brews, I'm pretty sure all their brews have an animal on the can. So I used the tractor and truck implement spray paint, primer, and spray paint. It's Ford red, or safety red is the color I went with. So I went 30 pounds and I think it was too much. I don't know. Yeah, might be able to see it, but it's coning kind of bad. We'll spray. Here we are next day. See how much air we have in here. It acting like we had all of it. All right, 25 pounds. So this held great last night. So we're gonna put back on. And we're gonna call this one done, then we'll move on to the front one. Alright, we're all done. The beadlock's mounted. It's on the Jeep. I just gotta get the bolts or the nuts, the wheel studs ran in and torqued down. Then it's on to the front. When I do the front and the other 3 now, I'm not gonna go to the extent that I went with this one. I'm not gonna pull those rims out of the wheels. I'll come up with a way that I can get the silicone on the welds around there and keep the tire off of it high enough that it won't touch the silicone. Let's get this buttoned up and get moved on to the next one, and the sooner I get this done, the sooner I can get back on them trails.